Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the difference between Christianity and discipleship. Yes, a lot of you guys might think like, oh, it's the same thing. Like, there's really no difference. There's actually a pretty big difference between Christianity and discipleship. So let's get straight into the video. So first, you guys are probably just wondering, oh, well, what's the difference between Christianity and discipleship? Well, Christianity is obviously, to the world, it's a religion that a lot of people follow. And it's not really a religion, actually. There's a big difference between it. And actually, Christianity is a relationship with God, that you have your own relationship with God. And nothing comes between that relationship. The only people you talk to is God. When you have a problem, the only thing you do, like if you have a sin, you go to God with it. Any problems or any desires or any, things that you really want in your life, they go to God, basically. A lot of religions do not do that, actually. Only religion that does that is Christianity, is when you have your own relationship with you have your own relationship with God, God. And with discipleship, it's basically you are a Christian, but you have to realize that discipleship is going deeper into the Bible, going deeper into having that relationship with God. So you're probably like, well, it's the same thing still. No, it's actually not. The reason why I think there's a big difference between Christianity and discipleship is mainly because a lot of people use Christianity as kind of like a label. They use it as like a word that they can just get away with it. It's like a cool name that they just love putting on themselves, and they don't realize how big of a difference that really is. And it's like, you can't just use something like that for no reason, or you can't just use it as like just like a label. It's not a label. So a lot of people in the world who are Christians do call themselves Christians. They're like, yes, I'm a Christian. But what does that actually mean? Like, that you're a Christian? To me, personally, a Christian is someone who actually has a personal relationship with God. Someone who puts a lot of effort into that relationship, actually talks to God, puts God first in everything, goes to God with anything, does not like leave anything out, is very honest with God. It's literally like if God was like a human, like if Jesus was back down on this earth and you had a personal relationship like the discipleships did, that is what I would think a Christian should be, right? But for some reason, people aren't. There's so many Christians out there in the world that literally, like, they basically just use it as just like a sweet name, and it's not. A lot of the Christians, they do drugs, they drink a lot of alcohol, they go to a bunch of parties, they don't read the Bible, actually. They cuss, they listen to very demonic music, which is secular music. There are really good secular music out there. They don't listen to worship. They only go to church when their friends are going to church. And they don't actually practice having that relationship with Jesus at all. They just kind of like, well, if someone were to ask them, oh, what are you? Are you a Christian? Or, Buddhist? Are you Muslim? Like, whatever it is, I don't really care. They will probably say, like, I'm a Christian. Christian is the biggest religion in the world, obviously, but a lot of people don't know the real meaning of being actually a Christian. So that's why I'm saying I'm not a Christian, I'm more of a disciple, because I actually put the work into being a disciple. Like, I want to be more like Jesus every day. I want to, experience the love that he gives people, or that comfort that he gives people. He takes away all these burdens that people carry like throughout their entire life. So being a disciple is someone who literally like follows Jesus every single day, every second. Like, if you want to know if you're a disciple or like a Christian, this is one question you can answer for yourself, is that would you put, if there was like a battle between, like, if there was like you had to choose one person, who would you choose, your family or God? A lot of people will have you like, well, that's not fair. Like, I would choose God. Well, no, people would say like, that's not fair. I would choose my family, but your family is not the reason you're going to heaven. Are they? No, they're not God. Your family's never going to be the reason why you're going to heaven at all. God is. God is the reason you're going to heaven. God is the reason why you have a lavish lifestyle. God is the reason why you got that job. God is the reason why you had that baby. God is the reason why you are here on this earth, still born and still here, living, breathing. God is the reason why you are now a pastor. God is the reason why you make a lot of... Okay, back to what I was saying, because my phone keeps losing storage and I'm getting irritated. I don't know how many apps I can delete at this point, because there's so many apps that I use. Well, actually, that's not. I use YouTube. I don't use TikToks. I deleted it. I use camera. I use photos. Not really, but enough. I'm getting annoyed. Like, at this point, I need my own camera. Like, I need legit, like, my own camera, because I can't handle the stupid iPhone storage anymore. Or I can just start editing on my iPad at this point, honestly. But either way, God is the only reason why a lot of things that have happened in your life, not your family. And I know people are like, oh my gosh, like, my family's important, but who created your family? God did. You didn't create your own family. God did. So we're going to keep going on with the subject of discipleship. And yes, you got to get rid of all of, like, the craziness, or, like, get rid of your life. Like, you got to die for God, because his son came down and literally, like, died for us. Like, he took away sin so we can live an eternal life. John 3:16, right there. But and basically in that book, I don't know if it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I forgot which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's Matthew. But he basically, like, the disciples come looking for him, and correct me if I'm wrong. Seriously, I completely forgot about the whole book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I did like 11-week study on it and completely forgot about it, because like, I don't remember a lot, but I tried to. But it was when the disciples come looking for him, and they're like asking about his family, and he was like, what family? I know Jesus for sure said, like, what family? I don't know if he said what family, but I know that he was like, what are you talking about? Like, what families? Like, you are my family. Anyone who follows me is my family. That's basically what he was explaining. And a lot of people use... There's a lot of... I guess there's another... Back to what I was saying, is that when you become a disciple, guys, like, oh my God, there's a really good book that you should read right here. It's called Practice the Way. And it's literally about discipleship. Like, he goes in depth in the very beginning about how, like, when you're a rabbi, when you want to become a rabbi, you basically have to go through, like, schooling of, like, understanding the Bible and reading the Bible and stuff. And basically, like, you have to, like, really, like, get into it and stuff and actually try. And basically, he tells you, like, once you get there, like, you get selected. I don't really know how it is, okay? I haven't read this book in a while anyway. But then once you become, like, close to the rabbi and whatever, and the only way to become a rabbi is that you have to follow what a rabbi says and does, and you see. And basically, that's what the disciples did throughout Jesus' entire ministry and life. When Jesus would call, like, tell these people, like, hey, come follow me. Like, he would be like, come follow me. And they would drop everything. They would drop literally everything and just go and follow Jesus. Literally, that's what they did. The disciples literally dropped everything to go follow Jesus, and followed him through his entire pretty sure it's 2 years of ministry. That's incredible. And that's basically what Jesus wants us to do, is to follow him and drop everything we do to follow him. And our lives will be much better. Yes, will be scary, obviously. Like, the disciples went through a lot. Like, Paul mentions him being, like, threatened, getting death threats, and, like, starving, and having to move to different places, and almost getting killed from, like, multiple different things, and getting attacked throughout his entire time because he followed Jesus. And people don't like Jesus. They don't like being around him. They don't like knowing Jesus or anything. So they'd rather kill those who follow Jesus, because I don't know what the motive is, but I'm pretty sure Satan is like, no, do not follow this man. He's a meanie. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about when he does. He literally created the world. Like, what? And Satan tries his hardest. Like, he works overtime. But God works harder in your life. Satan will work overtime to destroy your life. But God works even harder than him. And knows all of his motives and everything, and tries really hard to keep you from going to the dark side. And this book is a really good book when it talks about discipleship and a few other things. And it really goes in depth about like what discipleship is, and like how you can encounter God's love, and how you can preach the Bible to other people and show people, oh, I am being followed. I am following God. Like, you can show other people, I am following God. I am a disciple of God. I am not a Christian. I am a disciple. Oh, and a really interesting fact that I didn't know is that discipleship is mentioned, I think, over 200 times in the Bible, while Christianity is only mentioned 3 times. It just shows you that, like, God does not care about the label. He does not care about that word. He cares really about what you do in your life. Like, you can say you're a Christian, but you act like a Christian. You can say you're a disciple, do you act like a disciple? I act more like a disciple because that's what disciples are. No one can come up to you and be like, I'm a disciple. But like, why are you still smoking? Why drinking? Why are you doing all of these sins that you're not supposed to do? Why are you sleeping with people? Why are you getting angry all of a sudden for like no reason? That's not what disciples do. If you don't know what a disciple is, just go read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Or read any of the books like Paul. I think Paul was an apostle, and I think he was a disciple for sure. He clearly knows a lot. And I honestly, he did say he was Paul did say he was an apostle. Like, he counted himself as one. I'm pretty sure it's in 1st or 2nd Corinthians. And honestly, like, anyone can be a disciple, guys. Anyone can drop their life to follow Jesus. And that's really the main thing that we're supposed to be doing. I consider, if you want to say to yourself, I consider I'm a disciple, not a Christian. Because a Christian just seems like not a great label to be put on people, because anyone can be a Christian, but not anyone can be a disciple. And that's really the biggest takeaway in this video, is that, are you a disciple or are you a Christian? Just think about that. Okay, well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great time. Have a great, blessed day. Please don't die out there. It's been raining a lot in San Diego. If you're not in San Diego, I'm so happy that you're not here, because not because I don't like you, but because it's just been raining a lot and it's just lame. But if you are watching this video, please have a blessed day, and I don't know, be a disciple. Duh. Peace.